want to talk about the Palo Brunch. Every week I do kind of a review of a restaurant, and this week I want to review the Palo Brunch. Palo is the specialty restaurant on all the Disney cruise ships. Now, the Magic and Wonder only have Palo. They don't have any other specialty restaurants. But the Dream and the Fantasy, they also have Remy and Palo, two Fantasy. These are adult only. You've got to be, I think, at least 18 to eat in Palo and Remy. These are adult. It's a good time for adults to get away and enjoy a meal. It is an extra cost. Palo costs an extra $30 at both brunch and at dinner. The Palo Brunch is only on days when you are at sea. So, for instance, the 3-day cruise we went on the Dream in January, we couldn't go to Palo Brunch because they didn't have it during that cruise day. Now, when we were on the cruise to nowhere, we went last year on the Magic, which was exactly what we were looking for. Cruise to nowhere really did kind of go to nowhere. When we were on that cruise, there was a day at sea, so that day we scheduled a luncheon, a brunch at Palo. We were kind of apprehensive at first. Mrs. Mom especially. She's kind of a tightwad, and she'd agree with that. I'm not saying anything that she wouldn't actually admit to herself, but she's kind of tightwad with money, and spending an extra $30 on something, $60, $30 each, not something she did easily. But I talked her into it. I said, we got to try it. So we booked when the day came that we could book. It depends on how many cruises you've taken. The more cruises you've taken, the earlier you could book. But when our day came that we could book our Palo Brunch, we booked it. I got the time I wanted. I think it was 11 o'clock. I didn't want to get too early, but I also wanted plenty of time to be able to eat because the brunch lasts from like 10:30 to 2. And I wanted that 3 hours to just gorge on the food, because this is a brunch and you can just keep going and back and back and back. It's got kind of a buffet, part buffet. It's part buffet and part menu. So there is a big buffet for the Palo Brunch. The buffet included things like pastries and some breakfast items and some breads and a whole bunch of seafood. There were salads and green things and things that I don't normally eat, but there was a whole bunch of seafood. There was shrimp and scallops and king crab legs, already cut open for you, cut in half. You didn't have to work at it. King crab legs or mussels and all of those other things. Any kind of seafood that you wanted, it was right there on the buffet. Just take as much as you want. So when time came, that morning, the morning of our brunch, we both, we didn't want to eat much for breakfast, so we went down and we grabbed just a little bit of breakfast. I probably had some bacon and I don't know, but we had a little bit of breakfast, and then we went up. It's 8 o'clock in the morning. We're at sea. What are you going to do? Well, Doctor Strange happened to be playing at that time, so I went and watched Doctor Strange. Mrs. Mom, she didn't really want to do that. She took a nap. I went to Doctor Strange. We were both happy. So about the time for us to go, we got ready. We dressed up for it. Palo does have a dress code, but we both dressed up because we like dressing up and going to nice restaurants every once in a while. So we dressed up and we went up to Palo. It's always in the top of the ship, right at the very top of the ship. So we went up to Palo, and we were a little early. We had to wait just a couple of minutes, but pretty quick. We were seated. Our server was over in just a couple of minutes. took our drink orders, said, don't go anywhere. I know the buffet is right there. And if you haven't been, stay here, and I want to take you on a tour of the buffet. She had something else she had to do, but she brought our drinks back. We ordered iced tea. Now, the iced tea at Palo is really interesting because they have iced tea ice cubes. So the ice cubes in your drink do not melt and dilute the iced tea. They're made out of iced tea. So when they melt, they're just making more iced tea for your drink. I think that is just a really, really classy touch. So she came back, she brought our tea, and then we went and we took a tour, a guided tour of the buffet. It was really, she was pointing to every section, here's where you get your pastries and your breads. Oh, by the way, open up this thing. Here's where the hot cinnamon rolls are. They had these big old cinnamon rolls that were warm and had, just slathered in butter and syrup, and oh man, they were good. And over here are the salads, and over here is our fish, and she just showed us all around. Oh, and over here are the 150 different desserts that they had on the buffet. We actually filled our plates then. We filled up a plate then, went back to our table, started eating, and in a few minutes she came and she hands us the menu. Now, the menus, you can also order from the menus. Palo is an Italian food place. That's what they specialize in. They specialize in Italian food. So this brunch menu had things like it had eggs Benedict, it had omelets, it had frittatas, it had waffles, but it also had lunch or dinner things like chicken parmesan steak. There was just all kinds of pastas. It just was really, really interesting menu. I ordered the chicken parmesan. Well, what they called it was parmesan coated chicken breast. I ordered the parmesan-coated chicken breast, and Mrs. Mom got the frittata. I think it was a spinach frittata. Okay, we put our order in, and while we were waiting, we were going back to. I probably hit the buffet 4 times for more of those scallops. I love scallops. Crab legs. I love crab legs. Shrimp. I love shrimp. All of the stuff that they had on the buffet. I just kept going back and back. So did Mrs. Mom, by the way. But she wasn't quite getting the same thing I got. Her plate was greener. And but anyway. So pretty soon here comes our entrees. And, I'm a big chicken parmesan fan. I love chicken parmesan. I'll order it quite a bit, but I kind of, after eating it at Palo, I kind of got to where I'm not so thrilled with anybody else's chicken parmesan. I kind of want Palo's all the time. It was really, really good. The crust, instead of being panko or bread or some kind of crust, it was chicken. It was Parmesan cheese on the crust. Just a little bit of red sauce, a little bit of that sauce, and cheese on top. Oh, it was cooked perfectly. Was just fabulous. Fabulous lunch. Mrs. Mom loved her frittata. It just was a great. Then we started going for desserts. Started picking up a few desserts. They come in little shot cups. Little shot glasses. So if you want like lemon meringue thing, it's in a little shot. I mean, it's like it got little bitty spoons. Little bitty spoons that you can dip with, and so you're not eating a lot of calories because the spoons are so little when you're eating the desserts. But when you eat 30 of them, it tends to make up for it. But yeah, so we got the desserts, and as we were starting to get the desserts, our server came over and she said, now, we got a dessert menu too. You've got these desserts that you can order off the menu that aren't these little bitty desserts. And I think you probably ought to get this chocolate lava mountain cake thing. We're already really full, and we were enjoying the little shots of desserts. Mrs. Mom said no. I said yes. I'll eat it all by myself. Just bring it. Because I gotta try it. That's what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to try these things. That's my job. I'm supposed to try all this stuff, right? So she brings out this, in a little bit, she brings this chocolate lava cake dessert. Oh my goodness. Oh, I want one of those right now. Now, the souffle at dinner is better, but this, to that point, was the best dessert I'd ever eaten. All it needed was a big old chunk of vanilla, of Bluebell vanilla ice cream for it to be perfect, French vanilla. But it was really, really good. We ate it all. We did. We ate it all, even though we're both just going, I can't believe I'm eating another bite. This is so rich. But we just kept eating. It was really good. Palo, the brunch, was one of the best meals we'd ever had. It really was good. So if you're ever on a Disney cruise ship, be sure to try out Palo Brunch. Leave the kids down in the Oceaneers Club. Go to Palo. Schedule you a Palo Brunch. Everybody that's been there, every review I've ever read, it's just fabulous. And it is. It is fabulous. Really, really good. If you've ever tried it, tell me about it down in the comments. Love to hear if you've tried Palo Brunch, if you're looking forward to it, and if this talk has made you want to go on a cruise. Who doesn't want to go on a cruise? I want to go again. Get in touch with our partners over at Destination to Travel and let them help you on plan your cruise. Thanks so much for watching Dad's video. For more simple, fun, magic Walt Disney World information, go to Dad's Guide to WDW.com. You can do that by clicking the I button that's popping up on the screen right now. If you like this video, go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel and get more Dad's YouTube videos with Daditude.